If you take a look at a list of the most stressful jobs, you might find school bus driver high on that list. For an Arizona man, a bus full of unruly students has proven to be a bit too much. Here's CBS News correspondent Heather Bosch.
Surveillance video from the bus shows the driver refusing to let elementary school kids off at their stop because they're too rowdy.
It's your fault you're not getting off the bus.
But the kids get louder, some crying for their parents just outside. One parent tries to open the bus door. The driver yells,
"You break that door, you're going to be buying a new one. Your kid will get off the bus when I'm done with him."
The driver takes off. A panicked parent calls 911.
Sorry, he's actually driving away.
Okay,
With all our kids.
Adam.
I mean, he's got all our kids on the bus.
He was taking them to talk with the principal, but the driver was put on administrative leave. He's since resigned. Heather Bosch, CBS News.
And I'm Peter King, CBS News.
Our experts know tires, enough to expertly install more than 3.5 million last year. That level of service will give you more confidence than ever before, even enough to hand feed a juicy steak to a lion. Now get a $120 mail-in rebate on select tires when you use the Ford Service credit card at the Big Tire event. Ford Service. Go with confidence.
Subject to credit approval. Rebate by prepaid debit card. Other tire manufacturer rebate or offer cannot be combined with Ford Service credit card rebate or offer. See your participating Ford dealer for details through 6/30/15.
Advance Auto Parts knows what makes a car guy a car guy. It's the courage to take on the greasiest of jobs, the guts to stare down the belly of the beast and replace a radiator. It's fearlessness, and it has no patience for dead batteries. That's why Advance Auto Parts offers free battery testing. And if you buy a new Autocraft battery, we'll even install it for free, so you can get back to your next big project. Advance Auto Parts, for guys who love getting under the hood.
Most vehicles, most locations. See store for details.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today. The place in Newport News for traditional home-style Mexican food is Chucho's in Oyster Point. Chucho's has sizzling fajitas, burritos, seafood dishes, and the best tacos on the East Coast, as well as fabulous margaritas. All of your Mexican favorites, a dining destination. Call 873-0486 and go to 605 Pilot House Drive in Newport News for a delicious lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Explore the flavor of Chucho's today. Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
All right. Thank you very much. Glad you're with us right here for Sports Scene on this Wednesday, May 6, 2015. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us right here for our weekly interview show, right here from 12 to 1. KJ is off. Ken Johnson filling in, my old producer from the game, BT Briggs. Glad you're with us right here. Sports Scene every Wednesday from 12 to 1 right here. Also sports highlights on nnpstv.com. This is your home for CBS News. Tell your friends about 1650. Twitter at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV, and HROnlineMall.com. Thank you to our military. Great guest lineup as well. Featured guest Mike Conti from the Atlanta Hawks Radio Network. Sponsors on GJBTV.com. Marketplace sponsors, as well as the guest lineup presented by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. Browse, shop, and visit today. Phone line presented by Spaghetti Eddie's with 2 locations in Chesapeake. And, of course, Chucho's, Newport News Greek Festival, Hilton Tavern, Newcastle, Fink's, Friendly Mover, of course, Spaghetti Eddie's, Crawl Space Stores with us. Congratulations to Mayweather, the great Kentucky Derby winner, American Pharoah, and, of course, in NASCAR at Talladega, Earnhardt winning, very emotional after his father did so well at Talladega as well. And, of course, the Orioles really struggling this year, folks, 12-12. All the drama going on in Baltimore. The Nationals, not much better. They're 13-15. A lot going on. NBA playoffs, NHL, Major League Baseball, all heating up. We got the French Open. You got a lot going on in sports right now. Every Wednesday, don't forget, on Twitter, at Greg Bick, at GJBTV, at HROnlineMall.com, and at Sports Highlight. Just go to my website, gjbtv.com. You'll see it right there on the homepage, and browse, shop, and visit right on Hampton Roads, OnlineMall.com. This is Sports Scene on the radio on 1650 AM on TuneIn.com, where every show's got a national platform now. Go to TuneIn.com, type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. Congratulations to the prize winners last week. We'll be back after these messages. Mark your calendar for May 28th to May 31st. The Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, dancing, entertainment, arts and crafts, and much more. This is the signature event of the year in Hampton Roads. The Greek Festival is located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org.
For over 25 years, people have counted on one name for all their residential and commercial moving needs: a friendly and affordable mover. No job is too big or too small, and they will assist you with your best interest in mind. Always providing free estimates, a friendly and affordable mover is a company you can count on. Have peace of mind on your next move with a friendly and affordable mover. Call 689-0935 or log on to lovemymover.com. For over 25 years, people have counted on one name for all their residential and commercial moving needs: a friendly and affordable mover. No job is too big or too small, and they will assist you with your best interest in mind. Always providing free estimates, a friendly and affordable mover is a company you can count on. Have peace of mind on your next move with a friendly and affordable mover. Call 689-0935 or log on to lovemymover.com. Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Baby, I'm playing on you tonight. Hunt you down, eat you alive, just like animals.
All right, welcome back to Sports Scene right here on the radio. Greg Bicouvaris with you. Glad you're with us right here every Wednesday from 12 to 1 on your home for CBS News, your 10,000-watt voice of Hampton Roads. Also, TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. Don't forget to go to GJBTV.com. Hit the YouTube link for past archive shows as well. I want to welcome Mike Conti. He is with the Atlanta Hawks Radio Network. Of course, the Wizards and the Hawks are dead even at 1-1 right now. Mike, welcome to Virginia Beach, my friend.
Thank you. I wish I was in Virginia Beach today.
Oh, very good. How's the weather in Atlanta?
Hot. And no breeze, so we need your good coastal breezes down here.
All right, well, let's talk about the Hawks, of course. You cover that team. Tell us about your background, first of all, Mike, in radio.
Sure. I worked here in Atlanta, as I have for the last 7 or 8 years. As you said, I cover the Atlanta Hawks now as their pregame, halftime, postgame, kind of in-game host on the Hawks Radio Network. I worked in New Orleans for a couple of years at WWL, where I covered the New Orleans Saints and New Orleans Hornets at that time, now the Pelicans. Also did a lot of news coverage after Hurricane Katrina. Worked in Savannah, Georgia for a little while. Worked in Pennsylvania for a little while when I was going to school at Penn State. So I guess that's my little elevator speech in a nutshell.
Very good. Go ahead and plug your Twitter handles as well.
It's at Mike Conti, Conti 929.
Well, let's talk about the Hawks. Okay, they are 1-1. I'll give you the Virginia rundown here, folks. Of course, Kent Bazemore, you remember him from Old Dominion, had some really good three-point shots last night. And, of course, Mike Scott, who played at Virginia. And their assistant coach, Ken Atkinson, was a big star at Richmond way back in the early 90s as well. Before we talk about Bazemore, I want to talk about Mike Scott for a second. A lot of people here, and he grew up in this area, and of course he played at Virginia. We know him pretty well. He always seems like he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Does he play like that in the NBA as well? And he always seems a little moody. Is he calmed down a little bit as a person?
Well, I think... yes, he does play with a chip on his shoulder. I think he's been able to harness that and use it for good, if you will. Now, he didn't play last night in Game 2. He has a back injury that he's really been struggling with. He took a hard shot to the floor in the Brooklyn series and kind of bruised his tailbone, I think in Game 1 or Game 2. And he hasn't been quite right since then, and I'm wondering if he did not play last night, maybe as kind of a rest situation to get that tailbone 100% right. He's also had to battle through a toe injury in the second half of the regular year. So Mike Scott's been injured. First half of the season, Mike Scott was a real X-factor off the bench for the Hawks. Pretty much single-handedly won them the game against the Golden State Warriors, which a lot of people were paying attention to back in February as a marquee game between the top two teams in the league. I think he's the best dunker on this team. He has a way of even igniting opposing buildings with his dunks. He's had some good ones. He's had some good ones in this series. I think he's just a young guy who's trying to find his place in the NBA, and I think he is a viable NBA player. He just would benefit from probably getting a few more minutes consistently.
Very good. Talking right here to Mike Conti of the Atlanta Hawks Radio Network. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us live on the radio. This is Sports Scene at 12:15. Also, tunein.com. Type in WHKT. It's available anywhere online on your phone or your computer. And Mike, really, that's the way this generations are going. Is every show now has got a national platform thanks to tunein.com.
Yeah, and I like to tell my friends I'm worldwide radio international celebrity, and they tend to buy into that, even though it's probably not technically true. But I'll go with that as long as they believe me.
Very good, very good. All right, let's talk more about the Hawks here. Bazemore had some really good shots last night. Of course, the Hawks beat the Wizards 106-90. Wall did not play. But your team, the Hawks, had a great regular season, 60-22. A lot of people were skeptical. They did pretty good against the Nets, winning that series. But now they're in a good place right now. They're 1-1. They got a few days rest till this weekend. So really, there's no excuses now, Mike. This is the Hawks' time.
I mean, we were talking about that on the post-game last night. You know, there are some rumors going around that John Wall's wrist is really messed up, and he could miss extended time in this series. You kind of look at the way the Eastern Conference is stacking up right now. You know, if Wall is going to miss significant time in this series, you really have to like the Atlanta Hawks' chance at getting through this series maybe in 6 or 7 games. And then, you know, in the Eastern Conference final, you're looking at either a Cleveland team that's going to be without Kevin Love, or a Chicago team that I think is probably the best team in the Eastern Conference right now, but they always seem to stumble upon injuries and bad luck, and you're never quite sure if Derrick Rose is going to be 100%. Joakim Noah is clearly not at 100% right now. They've got some guys with playoff and experience on that team. So, you know, your hardest test to get to the NBA Finals is going to be the Chicago Bulls. I really like the Atlanta Hawks' chances. Now, I'm not by no means proclaiming this Wizard series to be over, because I do expect John Wall is going to play. He's a tough cookie. He is not in the soft club in the NBA by any stretch. I think he'll try to play with that broken wrist. But it really does set up very nicely for the Hawks this year. And I think it's a short window for them, because if you look at the East next year, you know, Miami will clearly be better with Chris Bosh coming back. You have to figure Brooklyn will probably be better as they get their stuff sorted out. Cleveland will be better once they figure out what to do with Kevin Love, if they're going to keep him there long term or get rid of him. So, you know, I think the Hawks need to approach this series against Washington in the playoffs as a whole as, hey, you know, this franchise has never been to the East Finals since moving to Atlanta. and they have a chance to do something very special, but they have to go for it this year.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of the Hawks in the past, you think of Dominique Wilkins and some great players that played for them, but they really have a chance to be relevant right now. There's no superstar on this team. They have a lot of good role players, although DeMarre Carroll's playing very well.
Yeah, DeMarre, you mentioned Dominique. Last night he became the first Hawk since Dominique in 1988 to have 6 straight playoff games of 20-plus points. He has undoubtedly been the MVP for the Hawks in the postseason because some of their key guys have really dealt with injury problems. Jeff Teague is hobbled right now on a bad ankle. You really saw that last night as Raymond Sessions schools him from time to time. Paul Millsap's got a bum shoulder that he's been dealing with. Al Horford has a dislocated pinky that's really affected his shot. Kyle Korver has been dealing with a broken nose. That's affected him. So DeMarre has done well to stay healthy, and he thrives in this Atlanta Hawks system right now. It just goes to show you that I think you accurately said, Greg, that the Hawks don't have a superstar. But I always tell people who say that, well, you know, have you watched Paul Millsap play this year? Have you watched Jeff Teague play this year? They may not be superstars in the true sense of the word and the definition, but they play like superstars on a pretty consistent basis.
Yeah, let me ask you about a guy that's been talked about a lot. Really, this is a time where the Hawks are really on the national platform, a lot on TNT and ESPN as well, about Pero Antic. I don't know how you pronounce the guy's last name. It's kind of a foreign name, but the commentators were really butchering his name last night. But anyway, sometimes he seems like he's a solid NBA player. Other times it seems like he should be playing in Europe or the NBDL. I'm not that impressed by him. I know he does help. I know Brand's been in and out. Of course, Horford, of course, Korver, and so forth. But what is your take, really, if you had to put a lie detector on you right now, Mike, your take on Pero Antic?
Pero is a solid role player in this Hawks system. What a lot of people don't understand is that, you know, Pero is not out there to be a rim protector like Marcin Gortat. He's not out there to be dunking all over the place and hard fouling on defense or anything like that. The reason why the Hawks like Pero is because he can play along the perimeter and be a three-point threat that drags the other team's center out to the perimeter, and that opens up space underneath for drives by the point guards and alley-oop passes. So, you know, you can't look at Pero and expect him to be a Jonas Valanciunas type player or a Timothy Mozgov type player. That's not what he's out there to do. He's out there to be a big guy who can shoot threes and cause matchup problems for the other team. And I think he fulfills that role pretty well. He had a good game last night, made a couple threes. In fact, his three-point shooting percentage in this series is higher than that of Kyle Korver, Jeff Teague, and John Wall, though I do understand we've only played 2 games.
Talking to Mike Conti right here from the Atlanta Hawks Radio Network. Of course, Bob Rappin, who does a lot of the Hawks on TV, is from this area, of course. I grew up listening to him, and he gave me a lot of excellent advice as a kid in this business. And, of course, right here talking to Mike Conti. Don't forget Sports Scene live every Wednesday from 12 to 1. TuneIn.com, type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer, or 10,000 watts of radio power on 1650 a.m. It's lunchtime. Don't forget, order online at papajohns.com. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Introducing PayShare on papajohns.com. Mike, if you were down here, I'd buy you a pizza, my friend.
I would appreciate that. I like their Italian meats trio, so next time I'm there, make a note of it.
Yeah, the more meat, the better. Add the bacon, too, as well. All right, well, let's talk about some of the other series, of course. Chicago right now up on Cleveland 1-0. They're playing again tonight. Clippers in Houston, always going to be an intriguing rivalry. And then, you know, we're down to the Elite Eight pretty much when you talk about Golden State and Memphis. And then we mentioned the Clippers in Houston.
Well, you mentioned Bob Rapton, and he had an interesting point that he made to me last night. He spoke to Bob Fitzgerald, who's the Warriors TV guy, a couple weeks ago, and Bob Fitzgerald indicated to him that the one team the Warriors did not want to see in the West, it wasn't the Spurs, it wasn't the Rockets, it was the Memphis Grizzlies. Because Memphis can play a grinded-out, slow-down game that's completely counter to the way that Golden State and Steve Kerr want to play. What you saw last night, I felt, was Memphis really frustrating the Warriors, forcing them into some tough shots. The Splash Brothers had a really, really rough night shooting the ball. Klay Thompson was missing everything. And this is the way the Memphis Grizzlies win games. If they can keep Golden State in the 90s, which, you know, is kind of an average output for an NBA team, but if you can keep Golden State in the 90s, you're going to have a chance to win. I think the Warriors are going to have to be very, very careful. I expect them win this series, but they're going to have to be careful with these two games coming up in Memphis because, in my opinion, they have to win both in order to put themselves in a comfortable position to win this series. Houston and the Clippers, I am shocked that the Clippers went in there the other night without Chris Paul and won so decisively against Houston. Now, we saw two things. Blake Griffin continues to have a really beautiful playoff, had another triple-double. He's playing insanely good basketball right now, probably the best basketball of his career. The other thing we saw in that game is something that we were very accustomed to seeing in Atlanta, and that's Josh Smith recklessly shooting inefficient jump shots and missing them. And as good as Josh Smith was in their first-round series against Dallas, now we're seeing signs that he's reverting back to his, let's say, excessive shooting ways. And I also thought James Harden looked exceptionally disinterested in that game after being snubbed for the MVP. So I expect a bounce back from Houston in Game 2 tonight, especially if Chris Paul does not play, and I understand he's listed as doubtful for that game tonight.
All right, talking to Mike Conti from the Atlanta Hawks Radio Network. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us at 12:24. Got my old producer from the game. We used to work at a sports talk station, Mike, here, the Redskins own Red Zebra. You probably heard of them. And, of course, in D.C., Richmond, and Virginia Beach, got my old producer here, so it's always good to have him back. You know, you always need a good producer for a show. You know that, my friend.
Absolutely. They're the most valuable player.
You got it. He's also good on the air as well. Talking to Mike Conti right here. And, Mike, Chicago and Cleveland, of course, we know that love is out. And, of course, it looks like you can see the burden already on LeBron's face.
Yeah, he had to look good the other night. I thought, that was not a very LeBron-like effort for him. Cleveland, I think, was kind of hoping and praying that they would get a split in these first two games because not only did they not have Love, but they don't have J.R. Smith yet. I think they were really holding out hope they could get a split, get J.R. Smith back, who's been really, really good for them since the trade, and then maybe you take your chances out in Chicago with the series tied at 1. They can still get there tonight. They can still do that. The one thing that impresses me about Cleveland, everyone was saying coming into the playoff, Kyrie Irving has no playoff experience. Surely he cannot duplicate his regular season output in the pressure of the postseason. And that has been completely opposite of the truth. Kyrie Irving has been not only a great facilitator for them on offense, but he's been the knockdown three-point shooter that we saw in the regular season. So I wouldn't declare Cleveland to be dead and buried just yet. They're going to be in super big trouble if they lose tonight because they're going to a hostile building this weekend, possibly down 2 games to none. But I just have a feeling you got LeBron, which means you've got the best player in the world, and you've got a quick whistle by the referee working in your favor, too. So Cleveland's going to hang around in this series.
Final few moments right here with Mike Conti from the Atlanta Hawks Radio Network. Mike, let's switch gears just to get your take real quick on the Braves. We know the Nationals here are really struggling at 13 and 15. Those two are always fighting like cats and dogs, it seems like, every year, and the Braves always have a little bit of an edge over the Nationals. The Nationals have gotten off to a really bad start. What are your thoughts about the Braves? I still can't believe they got rid of Ugla as well and, and some of the other key players over the years.
Well, I can. Ugla was absolutely brutal for them. Brutal defensively, hitting below 200, was just an absolute albatross at second base. Got to the point where they had no choice. They just had to release him and pay out his contract. And it's funny, he actually single-handedly won Washington game here in Atlanta last week. And the irony of that is the Atlanta Braves are paying his salary to do that, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
They hired a new GM in the offseason, John Hart. His mission was to essentially blow up the team, restock the minor league system, and give the Braves payroll flexibility so when they move into their new ballpark in 2017, they'll have a pretty good lineup and a restock farm system. And you know what? John Hart has pushed all the right buttons so far. He was able to rid them of that Melvin Upton contract. He had to send away Craig Kimbrell in the deal to San Diego. But that was seen as miraculous here in Atlanta to finally be rid of the B.J. Upton / Melvin Upton albatross. And to be honest with you, Jason Grilli, who they acquired in the offseason to be the new closer, has been pretty good for them.
Mm-hmm.
The Braves, if they can go 500 this year, that would be a very, very good accomplishment for them. They are not expected to contend in the division. It would be probably miraculous if they finished any higher than 4th. And as for the Washington Nationals, I think that's a team, you look at where they are lineup-wise right now, I don't know how Pittsburgh is hurt, but you feel like the Nationals are going to be able to turn it around. The Braves started hot. They went on that big winning streak to begin the year, and now they're playing back down to the level that everyone expected.
All right, and of course, the Braves also had Gaddis for a while too. He was a big-time hitter as well.
Yeah, but again, not consistently.
No.
And he was good defensively because he gave them some flexibility in that they could play him at catcher, they could play him in the outfield. But again, it was one of those deals where he had a really good catcher on his way up out of the minor league system in Bethencourt that they wanted to get up into the majors. You look at Gaddis, maybe a guy who hit his ceiling. Now, clearly he has not hit his ceiling. He's had a great year in Houston so far, really getting that great story in Houston with the Astros. But I think, again, the Braves are probably looking at Gaddis as a guy who had reached his limit, and they really wanted to make room for Bethencourt.
All right, we'll save the best for last. The Falcons got a new coach. What are your thoughts with Dan Quinn? He seems like he's very proactive. They got Vic Beasley. They're excited about that. What are your thoughts about the Falcons? Another connection there, Frank Clea who's been in the Falcons forever, was the assistant SID when I was at George Mason. And Tom Hart. Yeah, I've known Frank since I've been a kid. I haven't seen him in a long time. And Tom Hart.
Well, Greg, Frank just retired.
Really?
Just retired in the last week or two with the Falcons. One of the really great PR professionals in sports, and he just retired from the Falcons.
And he's not that old either. He's only in his 50s. I mean,
must be nice, right?
Yes, he must be doing pretty well working for the Falcons. Maybe he got some of the owner's money there. It's really good. And then, of course, Tom Hart. I've worked with him before as well as the stage manager, so it's a small world. And you mentioned Upton. He's from right this area as well.
Yeah, a lot of connections. And you mentioned Bob Rathbun, obviously, and Kent Bazemore. Just to go back to that really quickly, I don't feel like we talked about it too much, but I know because of the Tidewater, Old Dominion's pretty big up there. Kent Bazemore did not miss a shot last night for the Atlanta Hawks, and he has really, really struggled in the postseason with his jump shot. Very encouraging sign for the Hawks to see him get on track.
Yep, absolutely. All right, and your thoughts about the Falcons losing record last year? They almost made the playoffs even with the losing record, but your thoughts about Mike Smith departure and, of course, Quinn?
Well, Dan Quinn has made it a point of emphasis that he wants to get the defense fixed. The Falcons were among the worst teams of the league at getting to the quarterback last year in sacks. They've had problems sustaining a pass rush. As you mentioned, they went out and got Vic Beasley out of Clemson right away to kind of help them with that and boost that pass rush. There are rumors that they're in it maybe for a trade for Bruce Irvin, though that has been somewhat squashed by Thomas Dimitroff, the general manager. But, the Falcons had a defensive-minded coach in Mike Smith, and then they didn't really get the personnel to help them out. I think Dan Quinn has put a little more of a personal imprint on the personnel department, and you're seeing them go out, draft his type of guys, sign his type of guys as free agents. So I expect the Falcons to be much, much better defensively this year. Whether or not that's enough for them to win the division remains to be seen.
Yeah, I think Mike Smith, last question, deserves a lot of credit because after the Michael Vick debacle that was down here as well as in Atlanta, bringing on Ryan really was a good, fresh approach for the Falcons, and he really made them relevant for a long time. As a kid, I used to love watching Bartkowski play when I was a kid, and, Ryan's done very well for the most part.
Everyone down here likes to say they were 10 yards away from the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. They were really, really close. But I think Arthur Blank and the front office just felt like they had plateaued under Mike Smith. And we'll see what Dan Quinn does. He's saying all the right things. Young guy with a lot of energy. Fans have taken to him down here. So there's a lot of enthusiasm surrounding the Falcons this year.
All right, my friend. Well, we'll have to get you back on again later on, and good talking to you. A lot of great connections that we have here, and all the best of the Hawks are tied at 1-1. We'll be watching that series very closely.
All right, great. Good talking to you.
You too, Mike. Have a great day. Mike Conti right there at the Atlanta Hawks Radio Network. We get the elite #1 guest, folks, right here, your only local sports talk show during a convenient hour from 12 to 1 every Wednesday on the radio, 1650 a.m. Tell your friends. Find me on Twitter at Greg Bick. Add me on Facebook, Greg Bicouvaris. And, of course, TuneIn.com. All you have to do is type in WHKT, listen for free. And, of course, you can subscribe as well. Go to TuneIn.com, type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. This is your home for CBS News. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back, BT and company, after these messages.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. The place to go for U.S. rare coins is Newcastle Coins and Collectibles in Chesapeake. They specialize in U.S. and silver and gold coins and provide free verbal offers and are always buying U.S. rare coins. Newcastle Coins and Collectibles, 681 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake, across from Chesapeake General, open Tuesday through Saturday and always online at NewcastleCollectibles.com. Call 757-609-3633, 757-609-3633 for Newcastle Coins and Collectibles. For over 25 years, people have counted on one name for all their residential and commercial moving needs: a friendly and affordable mover. No job is too big or too small, and they will assist you with your best interest in mind. Always providing free estimates, a friendly and affordable mover is a company you can count on. Have peace of mind on your next move with a friendly and affordable mover. Call 689-0935 or log on to lovemymover.com. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Rack City chick, 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 10, 20s and the 50s chick, rack city.
All right, welcome back right here to Sports Scene, live right here on the radio. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us. BT Briggs filling in for Ken Johnson up until 1 o'clock. You're home for CBS News. Sports Scene every Wednesday, 12 to 1. GJBTV.com. Hit the YouTube link to listen to archive shows. Of course, add me on Facebook. Go to my background on GJBTV.com. All right, I had her on Sports Highlights recently. Let's welcome Shera White from The Apprentice School. How are you, Shera?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Did you get some pretty good feedback from the TV interview?
Oh, my goodness, yes. It was great.
So a lot of your friends saw it. A lot of people said they saw you on TV, huh?
Oh, my gosh. My mom shared it on Facebook.
Very nice, very nice. What will we do without Facebook?
I know.
But you got a big event coming up at the Apprentice School. Of course, GoBuilders.com, USCAA, National Championships in baseball. I found out I'm going to be part of the broadcast team on Saturday the 16th. Excited about that as well.
Oh, good.
Yes, let's talk about it. It's at a historic War Memorial Stadium.
That's right. It's for the conference national championship, the United States Collegiate Athletic Association, and really the conference is made of 34 teams, and so for this tournament, 10 teams get a seed into the tournament, and they play until Saturday, which is the championship game.
Well, let's talk about the event. It really goes a lot behind the scenes. A lot of before and after goes into this event.
Yes, it takes a lot of teamwork and putting heads together, meeting after meeting, and really just working with our community partners and working with the USCAA and the pilots to put on this big event, and I hope everyone can come out and enjoy it.
Well, let's talk about all the relevant information, the game times, dates, and so forth.
Yes, so the Apprentice School Builders actually have a fifth seed in the tournament, and so their game is on Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. So we're inviting everyone to come out and support the Builders, and the tournament starts on the 13th, and it runs until the 16th, which is Saturday. And the Home Run Derby, which is like the opening event, is on May 12th, and that'll be at Woodside High School at 7:30.
All right, let's talk about the ticket prices.
So for general admission, it's $7, $5 for military, seniors, students, and $3 for children that are 12 and under. And then for the championship day, you can add $3 to all those prices.
And, of course, group sales are available, and a lot of teams, too, involved.
Right. There are group sales available. You can give me a call at 380-7576. And there's also a 4-day pass, which is $20. And so that really is the easiest way to go. You could just come in, we'll give you a wristband, and then you'll get into the tournament.
Go ahead and plug in that website.
So that would be the
Apprentice School.
Oh, the Apprentice School website is as.edu or gobuilders.com for the athletic portion.
Very nice, of course. You know, you grew up on the peninsula, worked for the CIAA, and we had you on Sports Highlights Facts. Folks, you can go and see that on nnpstv.com. Shera, thank you so much. We look forward to that event. It's going to be a big deal. USCAA going on at War Memorial Stadium next week.
Thank you, Greg.
Have a wonderful day.
Okay, you too.
Thank you. All right, Shera White right there talking about a local event. People love baseball. Great event going on at the War Memorial Stadium, a place that I got my broadcasting start there, actually on another radio station doing some Pilots games back in the late 80s. And, of course, my dad played there as a kid. Who didn't play at War Memorial Stadium? It's such an old, historic museum-type baseball facility. I love Harbor Park, but that really is an old baseball facility. I kind of like the amenities. You know, the older I get, I kind of like, you know, the luxury boxes, you know, drinks, food. If they don't have that, I'm not coming. Seriously, folks, we all like to have a little fun. This is beach weather as well. BT, let's get to highlights.
It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com Marketplace Pages.
And I want to thank Mike Conti from the Atlanta Hawks Radio Network, really enlightening us about the NBA playoffs and the Hawks. Shera White talking about a big event going on with the USC AA next week at War Memorial Stadium. Looking forward to some great baseball there, some collegiate baseball as well. Don't forget some announcements here with highlights, gjbtv.com. Hit the big YouTube link on the homepage for archived shows. Shop on the Marketplace sponsors. Save the date each Wednesday from 12 to 1 for Sports Scene. Don't forget we got business spotlight scenes coming up. What teased me off? Always a lot of stuff that teased me off. Sports highlights on nnpstv.com, gjbtv.com. Of course, don't forget to watch the Dr. Mary V. Bicouvaris Memorial Tennis Tournament on Cox Cable 47 517 and nnpstv.com and Newport News. Of course, online webcast on nnpstv.com. The month of May, this month, on Wednesday and Friday at 7 and Saturday and Sunday at 1. It's 7 o'clock at night. Of course, great guests, NBA playoffs, so much more. NHL playoffs, Caps in a great series right now against the Rangers. Really, really exciting times for the Wizards and the Caps both, only if the Redskins can make the postseason. And who knows about the Orioles in Baltimore, and, of course, all the drama with the Ravens. And, of course, when you talk about sports and society combining together, folks, what happened in Baltimore last week was a tragedy, of course, and of course hope that city will rebound. But when you have to postpone games and play them on the road, that's a big inconvenience for everybody, and we'll get to more of that in what teased me off. Stay tuned. This is Sports Scene right here on the radio, 1650 AM, tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer live right here at 1241. Stay tuned. Mark your calendar for May 28th to May 31st. The Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, dancing, entertainment, arts and crafts, and much more. This is the signature event of the year in Hampton Roads. The Greek Festival is located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. All right, back live right here on the radio on Sports Scene. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us on News Talk 1650 every Wednesday from 12 to 1. Go to my background, gjbtv.com. Of course, email bicogb@hotmail.com to put your link on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. That's HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com to browse, shop, and visit. Of course, we got our business spotlight scenes. Always a lot of fun. Of course, let's talk to Victoria and Lindsay from Dust Bunnies of Hampton Roads. How are you, girls?
Good. How are you doing?
Very good. Beautiful day like this, of course. And I saw on your website, of course, it's spring cleaning. It's a great time to get the house clean. Talk about your services.
We love to offer spring cleaning services. We offer routine housekeeping on a regular basis. We also specialize in move-ins, move-outs, office cleanings, open house ready for anybody that needs to get their home on the market in spring. We specialize in vacant property and new construction.
Dust Bunnies of Hampton Roads, folks, you can see their links with almost 50 businesses on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Just go to the Marketplace page. You'll see their beautiful link and click it. It'll take you to their website. You girls grew up in this area, so this really means a lot to service the Hampton Roads area, I'm sure.
That's right. We love to support local businesses ourselves, and we're proud to be a local business.
Well, you talk about a typical cleaning. When they say a deep cleaning or regular cleaning, what's the difference?
Deep cleanings usually involve like the outsides of the cabinets and the insides or outsides of windows, in addition to the things that you do generally clean. And it's just a more detailed cleaning. Sometimes we'll pull out furniture and things like that.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how sofas get really dusty, too. Oh, my goodness. Underneath sofas are hardwood floors, especially. Well, you guys are very active on the websites and social media. Take your turn and go ahead and plug the Twitter and the Facebook as well as the website.
Yes, our website is Dust Bunnies of Hampton Roads. You can find us at www.dustbunnieshr.com. We also have a Twitter handle, Dust Bunnies of HR. And we can be found on Facebook, too. And we're super excited to tell everybody that we have just won a local contest in Virginia Coastal Magazine. We've been elected by voters as the best cleaning company in Hampton Roads.
Yeah, very good. You girls are super, of course, and I saw your nice post on Facebook about this show. Thank you so much as well. And, of course, you handle residential and commercial. You definitely want to stress that.
Yes, absolutely. We do residential cleaning as well as office or commercial cleaning, like your buildings that are being constructed and vacant property for property managers and realtors. Basically, if it's in a building, we can clean it.
Dust Bunnies of Hampton Roads, go ahead and plug the phone number.
You can reach us at 757-706-4850. That's Victoria's cell. I can answer anytime. And you can also reach Lindsay anytime at 757-696-2716.
And everything is on the website. That's what you got to love about websites, folks. It's always there 24/7. You can go to HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com and see that Dust Bunnies link. These girls do a great job. They service the community. They take care of people, businesses, the military, whoever. They do a great job cleaning. And, of course, congratulations on your award, and all the best to you, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Talk to you soon. Okay. All right, there was Dust Bunnies of Hampton Roads. Of course, everybody needs their house clean like I do and so many other people. Go to HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. You can see their link of Dust Bunnies of Hampton Roads. We're going to be talking some good stuff at the Greek Festival in Norfolk coming up here very shortly. Of course, this is Sports Scene. We'll be back on 1650 on the radio, tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer after these messages. Mark your calendar for May 28th to May 31st. The Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, dancing, entertainment, arts and crafts, and much more. This is the signature event of the year in Hampton Roads. The Greek Festival is located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org.
Spring is back, and so are the Norfolk Tides. Catch the fun and excitement as your Norfolk Tides take the field at beautiful Harbor Park. Bring your friends and family to root on the Orioles of tomorrow today. Log on to NorfolkTides.com for information on season tickets, groups, ticket discounts, and Tides merchandise. Follow the Tides on Twitter and Facebook for updates on promotions and player moves. Tides Baseball, minor leagues, major fun. The place in Newport News for traditional home-style Mexican food is Chucho's in Oyster Point. Chucho's has sizzling fajitas, burritos, seafood dishes, and the best tacos on the East Coast, as well as fabulous margaritas. All of your Mexican favorites, a dining destination. Call 873-0486 and go to 605 Pilot House Drive in Newport News for a delicious lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Explore the flavor of Chucho's today. The place in Newport News for traditional home-style Mexican food is Chucho's in Oyster Point. Chucho's has sizzling fajitas, burritos, seafood dishes, and the best tacos on the East Coast, as well as fabulous margaritas. All of your Mexican favorites, a dining destination. Call 873-0486 and go to 605 Pilot House Drive in Newport News for a delicious lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Explore the flavor of Chucho's today. When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today.
People in Chesapeake and Hampton Roads have come to expect the finest Italian food at Spaghetti Eddie's. In addition to great lunch and dinner served daily, this fine establishment caters to and can host your party. Call 484-7301 for their Taylor Road location and call 410-5500 for their restaurant in Greenbrier. For more, log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
All right, welcome back to Sports Scene, live right here on the radio. Just a reminder, SmokeNN.com. Great patio dining, of course, and a wonderful renovated menu. Live music on Wednesday and Thursday night. SmokeNN.com. Great barbecue, great food right there on Warwick Boulevard in Newport News. Go by there and see SmokeNN.com. You can see them on Hampton Roads Online Mall.com at 10900 Warwick Boulevard, 595-4320. Delicious barbecue. Find them on Facebook as well, SmokeNN.com. And, of course, speaking of great festivals, great food events, one of the premier signature events is the Norfolk Greek Festival. For more, go to NorfolkGreekFestival.com. Let's welcome our own buddy. We've had him for several years. Thom Vourlas, how are you, my friend?
Hey, Greg. Ticanis.
How are you?
Everything's beautiful.
Hey, we'll talk to you next time about the Narrow, but today we're going to talk all Norfolk Greek Festival. What a great event. And you just hope, Tommy, the weather is going to be as good as it is today.
I know. Well, yeah, we always hope that the weather's good. But, even if it does rain, we've got that big tent that covers up everything. So you're nice and dry under the big tent for the Norfolk Greek Festival, which starts next Thursday, the 14th, and will run through the following Sunday. Lunch and dinner and music and drive-through, and we'll talk about it all.
Right there on the heart of Granby Street, too. Really accessible. And
7220 Granby Street, about a half a mile north of Ward's Corner, which I call the Times Square of the South. And free parking, free admission, and all that stuff.
Yep, and of course that's so important. Let's talk about some of the signature items on the menu. Of course, the souvlaki is always very popular.
Souvlaki is always a hit. The lamb feast is always delicious. Moussaka, pasticcio, spanakopita, tiropita, the yakni beans, and of course, can't forget those delicious Greek pastries. And I always advise people to come early and come often, but definitely if you're looking to get a bunch of pastries to take home and eat for the next few months or whatever, you want to come early because those pastries, some of those things start disappearing by sometimes even Friday evening or Saturday afternoon. They're always a big hit and they sell out quickly.
Talking to Norfolk Greek Festival going on next week, really a great event, signature event in Hampton Roads, Thursday through Sunday next week. Don't go there tomorrow. It won't be open until next week. But, of course, great food, free admission, free parking, and, of course, great Greek music and dancing really adds to the background.
Yeah, we always have a live band that's playing music on the stage, and we have our, the Greek dancers, the youth Greek dancers. There are different sets of those, the really young ones, the middle ones, and the older ones. And sometimes the alumni will come back too and perform. And there's always something going on the stage. And of course, the audience members are after the dancers perform are welcome to come up and join them and, try to attempt to do some of those steps they do. Some of them are very difficult, but some of them aren't too hard. So it's always, it's like, I call it grease on Granby Street, basically.
There you go.
Because when you get under that tent and the smells of the food and the music and the wine and Greek beer and all, it's just a great thing. And, of course, in the Hellenic Center, which is right next to the big tent, we have the Agora, which is the marketplace. And there's jewelry in there and artwork and Greek CDs and, linens and stuff like that. So and T-shirts, of course. So there's all that stuff out there. On the way to the Hellenic Center is the famous Bicouvaris booth. Mm-hmm. And this is the only time of year you can get those, because every so often we at the church will have, bake sales and things like that. But the Bicouvaris are only sold at the Greek Festival, and you can't get them at the drive-thru or anything. You got to go in there and buy them in there. And they're delicious. They're like the Greek donuts and everything. They're, get a large Bicouvaris, have a seat, and then, go to the drugstore afterwards and buy your Tums.
Or get some vanilla ice cream and put it on top of it. It's really...
That happens, too. And now they make baklava sundaes, too. So yeah. Those things are awesome. They use the leftover bits of the corners of the baklava trays, and they mix that up with ice cream and syrup and all that stuff. And, it's tasty. Yeah, it's all so much fun. And, of course, I also tell people if they can't stop and park, and parking can be a problem, but there's park. We're in the middle of a neighborhood over there too, and you can always park across the street at Granby High School in the evenings and walk across the street. We have policemen that cross people. We do have the drive-through, which is right there on Granby Street, because in the way the church was built, the cathedral now has a circular driveway right in front of it. So we utilize that for our drive-through. You just come heading south on Granby Street. You just pull into the drive-through. We'll give you an order pad, and you pick what you want, and then you drive forward and pick it up, and you're on your way.
Very good. Thursday through Sunday, that's the 14th through the 17th, NorfolkGreekFestival.com. Thom Vourlas, also at the Narrow Theater. We look forward to seeing you out there next week, Tommy.
You'll see me.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Thom Vourlas right there with the Norfolk Greek Festival. A great event. We talk more than just sports here, folks. We talk about everything you like. And, of course, springtime is a great time in Hampton Roads. Not only the beach coming up, but great festivals as well. We'll take a short break. We'll come back when What Teased Me Off and wrap the show up after these messages.
Discover what the locals already know. Quality comfort food and a pleasant atmosphere at the Hilton Tavern in Newport News. Open daily for lunch and dinner. They showcase the best burgers in town. Philly steak sandwiches, crab cake, wings, pulled pork barbecue, brisket, salads, and much, much more. They handle catering, banquets, and special events. Hilton Tavern is on Facebook. Call 599-9888 and visit them at 10184 Warwick Boulevard in the Hilton section of Newport News.
For over 25 years, people have counted on one name for all their residential and commercial moving needs. A friendly and affordable mover. No job is too big or too small, and they will assist you with your best interest in mind. Always providing free estimates, a friendly and affordable mover is a company you can count on. Have peace of mind on your next move with a friendly and affordable mover. Call 689-0935 or log on to lovemymover.com. What Tees You Off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
And want to thank our great guests as well today. Excellent show. Mike Conti from the Atlanta Hawks Radio Network. Shera White from the Apprentice School talking about the big baseball event going on at War Memorial Stadium next week. Thom Vourlas from the Norfolk Greek Festival as well. And Lindsay and Victoria from Dust Bunnies of Hampton Roads talking about spring cleaning, how important that is. All right, what teased me off, folks? Loud neighbors. Really? I mean, do you have to be loud all the time? And it just seems like when you're in your house relaxing, you can hear a door from across the street just slamming, whether it's a car or house door. Be courtesy of all your neighbors, folks. Please. People that don't evolve. Really, we all have to change with the times just a little bit. Bathrooms that are hard to find in buildings. I went to a building in Virginia Beach, and the one bathroom was in one corner. The other was way on the opposite side. Really? Porta-johns. Speaking of which, I was at the NASCAR race in Richmond a few weeks ago. They are disgusting. I don't care how good they are. They try to be. They're disgusting. Protesters. Okay, one thing is to do right. Seems like more now, though. It's a block party for kids between 20 to 29 anytime there's any type of protest. They're not even protesting about anything. They're just hanging out and checking their phones. They could do that at home. immaturity, lack of responsibility, and conveyor belts at checkout lines. You ever notice when you go to the grocery store or like to a big chain, the conveyor belt just keeps going with your items to the next person? Really? How about just shutting the conveyor belt off a little bit? Lack of humans at grocery store checkout lines and the de-emphasis on customer service as well. Even at banks. Went there yesterday to a bank, one person on the teller, it's all about the drive-thrus. Okay, taking 8 days for a simple letter to go from one state to another. That's unheard of in 2015. And postal carriers who are on their phones delivering mail, putting the wrong mail in your mailbox. What's worse, a phone ringing out of business or being put on hold when you're calling? So what's worse, the phone ringing forever or being put on hold? Dial 1, dial 2, and all they're trying to do is make you be on hold more when it used to be just hit 0 and go right to the operator, as well as staying in line. We like to have a little fun. That's it for What Teased Me Off right here at 12:59. Don't forget, we got CBS News coming up. Dennis Prager. I want to thank our guest again as well for Sports Scene. Mike Conti, Shera White, Thom Vourlas, as well as Lindsay Petridge and Victoria Mitchell. Go to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. I'll be back next Wednesday live for Sports Scene on 1650 and tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. For BT, I'm Greg Bicouvaris. We'll talk to you soon.